Right. So yeah, it was just a case of putting a bit of text inside a div. So that's where we had welcome to React, just putting that inside. I don't think anyone did anything different. Jack, you probably got a little penalty on that one. Why? Indentation, right? You see Jack's indentation there. So if we drop down the bit of text, it should be indented, which it is, but then the div itself isn't lined up. So yeah, just a little bit weird, and probably put brackets around it because it's on multiple lines just to make sure that we're clear what we're returning, yeah? And then Bilal. So Bilal's done multiple lines, but then it's indented properly, yeah? So if you want to do multiple lines, that's how I'd do it. But he's got an extra line here, so he might have lost something for that line, yeah? So it's a real shame, Bilal, because it looks beautiful, and then you just, I'll put an extra line, why not, yeah? So Ed probably got a little slight penalty there as well on the elegance. Do check your elegance console. Easy marks, right? Next one, what did we have to do? So this was getting some props. Who's that joined us? Is that Cathy?
Yes.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. I'm good. Thank you.
Excellent. So we're just going through the results. So you and Ed didn't have any help from anyone, but you still managed to get over 80, so well done there.
Good. Oh, nice.
All right, we'll just go through some of the beginner questions, just comparing the answers. If you've got any questions, just shout out, and then we'll spend most of the time on the intermediate today.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Ahmed, anything wrong with Ahmed's or looking good, elegance-wise and things? Yeah, it's fine, right? Yeah, happy with that. Anyone did anything differently? Probably not. Ooh, did you get a penalty there, Kate, for going too long on this line? Probably. Yeah. Is it on YouTube as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you get a penalty for going too long on this line, do you think? Probably. It was all in one line, your input. Yeah? Yeah, I think it probably went over the 70 characters. So you get us the second one on beginner. Yep. So Keyvon just put the type up there. Yeah, again, that's fine, as opposed to putting 3 like that. No big deal. Did anyone destructure their props? Anyone? No? Yeah, I think you could have easily destructured it in this case. So up here in the props, we could have written curly braces, value, comma, placeholder, and then down here we can get rid of props dot and props dot. So that will make it. Yeah, whatever works for you. Faraj, any problems with Faraj's? Indentation looks okay, but how about some of these spaces? How do we usually write attributes? So Jack's probably got the same penalty, whereas Sebastian here, you see, yeah, there's no gap between the equals and the value. So that's how we generally write our attributes for HTML or JSX, yeah? So don't put the spaces, guys. You're probably losing something for that. Who? Sorry? Kelly, no spaces. Looks good. No, they didn't just copy paste, so try yourselves first, right? That's a good approach. Bilal, you probably also lost a bit on the elegance for the same reason. Yeah. Ed looks good. And Kieran again probably lost a little bit. And Kieran's inconsistent as well. Sometimes he's got spaces both sides, sometimes just one side. So just try and be consistent. Yeah, Kieran? Consistently good. Consistently correct would be the best way. Yeah, these ones are a bit trickier, I think, sometimes, right? To do the mapping over and remember what you need to return. Sometimes, yeah, we can use driver. Probably better is just to use an index in this case, right? Our key can be our index, so map can take an index parameter as well. I don't know if anyone did that.
So we have put instead of driver just index.
Nope, so driver, comma, index, and then your key would be index, and your actual bit inside would be driver.name, yeah?
Because you want it to be unique.
Because we want it to be unique, and we know at least the index of our map is going to be unique, yeah? So we can have numbered labels then. Anyone spot anything else? I think everyone's used driver, yeah. Just shout out if you see anything. What about Kate's?
A couple of people missing keys. You might say that, love that as well.
Oh, no key at all. Yeah, so again, you probably lost some elegance because you didn't put a key there. Yeah, so inside your label, because we're mapping over it, how do we know they're unique elements? Generally, we'd give them a key. Yep, so Seb as well. Jack, I think Alpha Team didn't want to deal with keys today. So even, oh no, that's even Sonia as well. Kelly somehow did it differently and didn't spread on. Oh, Kelly's now not in Alpha Team. That's you are, aren't you? You are now. But they're not. Yeah.
Is that right or wrong?
What's that?
Look at
Driver.name. I mean, I'd prefer index still, right? We know that's going to be unique. Maybe if someone's got the same name or first name, could be an issue. No, not dot. So for the arguments, yeah, the parameters here. Driver, comma, index. They're the arguments that map takes. Yeah. You can't see my mouse?
No, it's out of
Yeah, but you can see what's highlighted at least, right?
No, before it was on the bottom. So you were saying all this, and we put this here. I sent screenshot.
Okay, no worries. Sent a screenshot to who? Sent a screenshot to who?
To our channel.
Okay. Yeah. So I obviously haven't got Slack open, so I can't see that when I'm presenting. Yeah. So just talk to me, or send it to someone else in the group if it's applicable to them.
If I just use index, not the driver, so just for the key, just index,
Yeah.
it would display the numbers, right? 1, 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
So that would be unique.
Yep. That's what I said to do right at the start. Yeah.
Put the driver and index together.
Yeah, we need driver because we need to display the driver's name. So we still need that as an argument in the map function. But for the key, just the index. Yeah? Alright. Anything else on beginner? So we can use the key as the key, which, yeah, that makes sense. They're going to be unique at least. Maybe let's just look at the last one, because this was the one that people did a bit differently. Ooh. So I think quite a few people probably made it longer than needed. Esteban's quite concise. So let's come out of this and just quickly go through question 5, or just refactor question 5. At least my skip works. Okay, so of course if we evaluate it, then we get the correct answer. Any elegance issues? No. Nice one, Ahmed. But is all this really necessary?
Not the paragraphs.
Not the paragraphs.
P tetra and the returns purchase, sold. Don't necessarily.
So you just want it like that? Did that. Okay. I'd have probably left them inside the sum element rather than just floating around on the page, but are we duplicating our code anywhere? Yeah, we've got 2 purchases. So can we combine our conditions rather than having nested ternaries? Yeah, how would we do that?
You can do the early case that's different first, so sorry not allowed, what the case that is for, and then everything else is purchased.
Okay, so what's the case for sorry not allowed then?
If the age is
Less than 18 and it's a night session.
yeah.
Okay. So to avoid rewriting all that, I don't feel we're gaining anything by doing it that way around, Kelly. Can I just leave the conditions as they are? Because you're just going to reverse these conditions, right? You're going to have less than or equal, less than 18.
But then we do sections for the condition, or just like one statement and then 2 possible options.
Yeah, all right. So what was your one statement going to be?
I thought it would be less than 18, and then if the add like session is afternoon or add session is night.
Yeah, okay. So you could have done that, but my argument is why can't we just combine it the way Esteban did? So I don't have to rewrite the whole thing. Yeah? How's that any longer?
Isn't that saying one? Okay, you said the area we can use. Yeah, I remember now.
Should be legit.
So if one of those is truthy, then it's going to say purchased. Otherwise, yeah?
Shouldn't it be wrapped in something because it's React?
Shouldn't it be wrapped in something? Yeah, well this is what Jack said, right? He said take away the p tags, and he said it worked. So let's have a look. Yeah. So you're just going to return a string from that component. So technically it's going to be a text, bit of text I guess, but yeah, I think it's better practice to wrap it inside of something because we're putting it on a HTML page.
So if I wrap that in a div, I'll have to have a p tag to work text to accomplish each response.
No, just as it was, right? So just, I think that's what these guys were saying, just put that inside a p tag, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I was checking. But then would you have to div to write right from here? That's what I'm saying.
No, why?
Without the P, you do a bit, but with the P, you don't need a bit.
Oh no, without the p, I need to do it. It's just straight out.
Do we need a p tag? Sorry, do we need a div or anything now?
No, because it's a conditional.
Yeah, it's a conditional, so we're not getting 2 p tags back, we're just getting 1. So we don't need to wrap our p tag in anything because there's only 1. Yeah? Anyway, let's not spend any more time on beginner because it's not what you wanted to do. So do you want to go through question 1 at all? Does anyone want to go through question 1? Yeah? Did anyone attempt it and get it wrong? We got Faraj, we've got... Anyone else? Looks like it, Faraj, yeah. No, like the result was not correct. So let's take your code as some boilerplate. Well, I don't know whether you changed it and then broke it then, but... sorry, I've lost the challenge. Let me just go back. I'll join Bravo. There's someone else. Join Charlie, right? Alright. So this was Farage's code. Let's run it. See what we got. Didn't return anything apparently, Farage. So let's try and debug this, guys. Where's it gone wrong? Can everyone read that? Do I need to zoom in? Zoom in a bit. Comma? Oh, yep. Farage, I don't know what happened up here. This comma state. Yeah, but obviously it didn't resubmit, right? I don't know why. Was that all there was?
No, the buttons are on the side of it.
Syntax error 23. I think the first bit's alright. Yeah, up until here. And then you've got a render, you've got a return, you've got a div. Where does the div close? Right down here, yeah? What does that one close? Button, we've got an on-click event. State. Yeah, we can rewrite it with hooks, but this is good practice, right? What do you spend 90% of your time doing in a job? Hopefully not, but sometimes it's debugging, yeah? So this is really good practice. So treat it as a good exercise. It's not just about solving the problem, it's being able to fix other people's code, yeah? You're going to have to do that a lot in your jobs. So where can we see anything? These ones.
They're right. Closes render.
So this one closes to this dot set state, yeah?
Yeah, then there's one on click and there's one on render. It's free code race.
But why do you want to close the render? So that closes the block. And that closes the on click, right? So the render closes down the bottom, but then there's no function. And then the return needs to be indented. The div as well. This dot state dot button message. Yep. Yep. Good stuff. Indentation's a bit messed, right? But I think you said that anyway for ours, yeah? Should we rewrite it, make it a bit simpler using hooks?
Yeah.
Do you want to come and do it, Ahmed?
Go on.
This is so easy.
We just say it's easy.
Okay, I can tell you, it's open braces after the press me. Make that press me function.
What'd you say, Ahmed?
I'm saying.
We said it's long.
No, I said that's
Semicolon.
and then now comes the and then
What goes in here then?
message.
Yeah, and then set message.
Set message is equals.
Take the comma in between.
No. Use state and then file press and then put message.
Put our initial state in there, which is button not yet pressed. Jack asked, do we need a comma in between here? Do we need a comma in between here?
No.
Really? Anyone else? 5 people here wrote one.
Yes.
Yeah, so did you put a comma or not?
Yeah, keyboard.
Seb has no idea because he just copied someone else's answer, right? You need a comma, guys. Yeah, they're separate elements in an array. Yeah, it's array destructuring. So you're assigning the first element in the array to message, the second element in the array to the set message variable. Okay? So we can get rid of all of this dot set state. Get rid of that as well for now.
Will that work?
Will it work? Do you think it will work? Yeah. We've got a return, but we've got a render. We don't need a render. So I can move everything across. So in terms of my elements that I'm returning, I don't want to change them. My button has got an on-click event, sure. Does it still do this dot set state?
No, just set state.
Just set what? Set message. Yeah. And this time our message is going to be button already pressed. Close off my curlies. Get rid of all these horrible bits. And close the button. I think that's it, right? This dot state dot button message becomes
Just a message only. Message.
just message.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
No, that is press me. You type that press me.
Oh, that was the press me one, was it? Oh, button message. Yeah, I didn't read that rather than the label message. Cool. So that was press me with an exclamation mark, yeah? So I can just write press me. Was it little m? Yep. Cool. And then inside the button, we have not this dot state dot label message, MSG. Is that it? Any questions? Any improvements?
Semicolons at the end of line 2, please.
Semicolon at the end of line 2. I agree with that. Anything else? Good, it works, but oh, one indentation. Where was it?
Press me. Let's have it.
No, that's it. It's button.
Press me
That line.
button.
Oh yeah, because the button's inside of the div, of course. Yeah. Press me, it was letting me get away with, but yeah, technically that should be like that, shouldn't it?
I really don't like using the class.
No, I mean the class component looked incredibly more complicated in that situation, right?
With the press me
Yep.
that is then replacing what's currently in set message, is it?
No. So originally Faraj had 2 things set in the state. He had button message and label message. Did we need a button message set in the state? Does the button message change? Yeah, does it? To what? It was originally going to equal press me. Then what does it change to?
Nothing. It's not going to change.
Okay.
Yeah, the button message does not change, so we don't need to store anything in the state regarding the button message. So I just hard-coded it in there instead. The only thing that changes is the get message text, which was our label text. Yeah, we did this one earlier today, didn't we, I think? Yeah? Yeah, we did this one this morning. Maybe, I hope it was, right? I hope you learnt something from this morning and you managed to pick up that question. All right, moving on. Or anything else? No? Good? Good. Gone quiet on me again. Try and verbalize things if you can. All right, the Walkman. Do we need to do anything about get side A and get side B?
Yes.
Really? They look like they're already there to me.
Don't they need message to be printed inside?
What's that? Side A and side B?
Component?
Have you seen this way of writing components before, or not? This way of writing functions. So you're just declaring it into a variable, yeah, a function expression, and then we can put it equal to an arrow function that returns, in this case, a bit of JSX. So it's just another way of writing a component. Rather than writing function side A, etc., we can declare it like that.
I have a question.
Yep.
Side A and side B are components.
Yes, side A and side B are components.
Different way to create components.
Yep, this is a different way to create a functional component. Yeah. Why do I think they're components? Because it's capitalized. Yeah. That would just be an arrow function assigned into a variable side A and side B. They're capitalized, and yeah, there's not much else to tell you, to be honest. But we still do need to do something, which I think is what Ahmed was getting at, because we're finding side A and side B inside of our wrapper. Yeah? So at the moment, they're not inside of our wrapper, which is our Walkman. They're just sort of floating outside of it. So we do at some point need to return either side A or side B. Is that how I write them?
No.
How do I write them?
Oh, curly braces.
Nope, not curlies. They're components. Yeah, so we write them as a tag, a custom component in React. And yeah, if we're self-closing, then we need a / there as well. Yeah. So now they look like components that are rendered inside of our Walkman component. Yeah, so now I'm happy that it can definitely find side A and side B. We also need what? Button. So let's create that as well. So we've got a button. Just close it for now as well. Do we need any text inside that button? Ooh, storm time. I don't think we need any text inside of it, but of course an empty button's just a bit weird, so I'm just going to put my own message. Was it toggle sides or change sides? It doesn't say, right? But I'm going to put toggle side. Is that right? Toggle means to switch from one to the other. So if it was side A, change to side B. If it was side B, change back to side A. Rather than just change one way and then finish, toggle means to go backwards and forwards between two states. Yeah? Okay. Right. Next, get side A we expect to be true, and get side B we expect to be false, with also a bit of text. So there's a couple of ways you could do this, but I think the nicest way to do it is using what we talked about this morning with the AND operator. And I would create a couple of things in state. I'm going to turn this into a functional component because it's far easier again. What couple of things shall I create in state? side A and B. I like that. Do people agree? No idea.
You said you like that, so it must be right.
I just say it. I'm asking, I don't know. I'm not sure.
So I'm going to create a couple of variables is A and set is A. Is this alright, or shall I make it more semantic? Is that okay for people? So I'm saying, is it currently side A? True or false? And then I'm creating a method to set whether it's side A or not, to toggle one side or the other. Yeah? Set is B. Alright. The initial values, is it initially on side A or on side B? How do we tell? Someone else who's not Ahmed? Just so I can check that more than one person is following. Seb passes. Yeah, we can check whether it's true or false. So here it says get side A dot exists to equal true. So in other words, in coding speak, we're on side A. Yeah, so I want is side A to initially be set to true, and initially side B to be set to false. Okay. Then let's do our text bit next. Our text bit's fairly easy, right? We expect side A's text to equal Spice Girls. Where do I put the Spice Girls? Inside of my component, side A. Yeah, not up here as a prop. This is to render the information. And we might as well do it now, just to do Backstreet Boys on side B. This is Ricardo's greatest hits, right? Now 98, did you say? Something like that, probably. Maybe even earlier. Right. So I'm happy we've done all of those. Now we need to do this button. We need to simulate the click and toggle the sides, switch the sides. So this is probably the trickiest bit, right? Well, in fact, we still haven't fully completed it, but I want to come to that bit next. The button, what does it need? We're simulating click. It needs an on-click event, yeah? When we see simulate click, we need to write an on-click event. What's the syntax for my events? Anyone know? Catty, Edward?
Brackets and arrow function.
Yeah, so let's make it a callback, right? This is the most standard way we do it. And in here, well, for now I'm just going to call it handle click, right? Because I don't just want to set A or set B. I want to do both of them essentially. So I'm just going to call it handle click for now. And that's going to be a function. Don't forget, guys, this is like end of the bootcamp stuff for many of you. So if you're following just part of it, fantastic, yeah? For those that are already scoring quite highly, great stuff. And help out the others as they go through. Just before everyone switches off and thinks I can't do this, right?
How did you gather that?
Huh?
How did you gather that? This is from the room. Right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But it's worth going through at least for a first glance, right? You can then watch these videos back and hopefully understand more and more of it each time. If this is a function, I'm telling you this is a function, where can I define it?
He said the question again, please. What did he say?
This is a function, handle click. Where can I write my handle click function?
Inside the parentheses?
Inside these parentheses?
Yeah.
No, because handle click is the function that I'm calling. I need to write it somewhere else. Do I write it in my function or outside?
Outside.
I could do either. But I want it to have access to the set is A and the set is B methods. So it makes it easier to write it inside the walkman function. Yeah, it could go at either place, right? But design choices, it makes more sense to go inside. This is what I did the other day, and I said I don't like where I've put my function. I had to pass all those other methods to it, right? And if I just put it inside the function, it makes my life a lot easier. So we're going to define it the same way that we've defined our components down here. Yeah, just with another const. Can be a const. There's no problem with that. It's called handleclick. We're going to set it equal to a function. That function, I don't want it to return anything. I just want it to do stuff. So it's not going to have a return statement, but it is going to call my existing methods. Set is A and set is B. On the click event, what do we want to do? We want to change the sides, and how do we do that? We set the one that was true to false and the one that was false to true. Yeah? So we want to toggle it. We can do that in two ways. We can literally hard code like that. But that's a little bit prone to error. That's prone to human error. So instead, we could use the is_a value and use the not operator to switch it to the opposite one. This is less prone to error, right? We don't have to ourselves keep tracking the program what's true and what's false. As long as we get the initial values right and their opposites, then we can just toggle. Yeah? Why are we not using an if statement? So that's the last part of the puzzle, right? We could render side A or side B based on a condition, yeah? What condition are you going to use though? If is A is true, then render something like that? So at the moment, we're just rendering both components always in our return statement, because there's no condition. We've got this state toggled to true or false, so we've got some state variable that can distinguish whether we want to display it or not, but we're not using that at the moment.
How about if we say if side A is false, then return side B?
Okay, so you could have some sort of ternary, right? You could say, I'm just trying to do it your way first, Ahmed. So we've got an if inside our return though, so that's not nice, is it?
It has to be ternary, wouldn't it? Because it's inside the return function.
Yeah, I mean you could do the ternary, but the way I've set it up, I'll just show you this way because it's going to be the easiest way. The way I've set it up, we can just use the AND operator, right? Is A and side A, and you can have is B and side B. So in other words, which one are we gonna, which one are we going to render? Yeah, so if is A is true, then we return the last truthy value, right? Using AND. Yeah? If is A is false, what do we return? The first false, which is just going to be false. So therefore that statement isn't going to render, right? So one of these lines is going to get reduced to false, and one of these lines is going to get reduced to side, whatever side we want, right? And that, I think, is essentially it. So we got semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. Yeah? Oh, no, I haven't got it right. So, what, oops, you didn't return anything. Because syntax error 10.3.
Well, do you need a semicolon off to set his date? Because you look at
I definitely need some fragments, right? Is it now too long? Nope, still good. Expected comma. Nope, still that wrong. Expected true to equal false, so now we've got it the wrong way around somehow. Handleclick is as true. See what happens if I do hard code it. No difference. Is as assigned a value but never used. Ah, yeah. Because we weren't using them as JavaScript, right? I want this whole thing to be JavaScript. So let's do that. Cool. Okay. I think that's about as nice as I could make it. We could probably try Ahmed's approach where we only set is it side A, and then if it's not side A, by default we know it's side B.
I prefer this way. I'm going to have to do this way. This is what we talked about this morning, right? About and.
Yep.
And.
Yep.
When sometimes to process it in my head and then practice some more.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure I'll get back on that. Often. Some more practice.
So you want me to leave it there, or do you want me to try and rewrite it a bit better? Or should I save that for you for another time, right? I think we can rewrite it with just one of these states, and then we don't need a whole new method, and we can also change this into a one-liner as well. So I think we could actually make it quite a bit shorter, but maybe that's something for you to take that snippet and then try and improve it.
Sorry, you know, at the beginning, it came at the top with class, walkman,
Mm-hmm.
and you took all that off and you converted it to fantasy.
Yep.
It's not the same as function than class, right?
No, function and class are different things. Yeah.
Why did you change it?
Because I wanted to use the use state hook as opposed to having to write a constructor, this dot state, all of those things. Two different ways to manage state, yeah? using a constructor and a class component, or using the useState hook. This is the more modern approach, and it's a lot less code, so that's why I'm trying to teach you this way. Yeah. Otherwise you would have to set up a state for is A at least and set it equal to true. Yeah, and then the return statement is going to be roughly the same. Yeah, so task 13. You got to task 13 in CodeFlix? No. Okay. So when you get there, you'll see that there's two different ways to write state. One is using a class component. The second one is using hook. When you get there, this should make a bit more sense. Yeah. Did anyone do number 3? Esteban, did you do number 3?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? I can check for you.
I can't see it. Check on him. The one of the countries, no. The one to filter the name of the countries. It is that one I didn't do. I was almost. I did 3.
Can you see that solution there, Sonia? So Porek has used a class-based component to do the same thing. And he's used a ternary inside of the for the side A and the side B. Yeah?
We also use this.
Yeah, he's in a class component, so he has to use this, yeah? But this is what I was trying to say we could do. Yeah, we could use a ternary and just one state and toggle that. So my is A state could be the toggle in this case. Yeah?
Wait, I don't understand where you are highlighting. This looks to be totally true. When will it become false?
So,
No,
if...
the initial state is true. Okay, is that
Yeah.
okay?
If this dot state dot toggle is true, then we're going to render side A. So in other words, if this dot state dot is A is true, render side A. Otherwise, render side B. Yeah. So that's how we could have rewritten it a little bit better. That other question.
Technically, we use the if statement there. It's just the itinerary.
Yep. So we use the and as opposed to the ternaries, but the ternary actually works really well in this way.
Actually, if you think carefully, the class is easily understandable as well once you use it a couple of more times.
So Esteban, yeah, the class is fine, right? Esteban also did a class component, a little bit longer. He used a different way of handling his events. So Esteban uses the bind up here, which can be more performant. But we'll talk about these when we talk about event listeners later on in the week. We'll talk about the different ways to bind events in React, yeah? Or handle events in React. Kelly had a good go at the... I might take that as some boilerplate code if you don't mind, Kelly. And so you just haven't got a filter anywhere, Kelly, right? So you're just always rendering all of the countries. Yeah, so you weren't handling the input in any way. I might rewrite it actually. Sorry.
Great, just confirm me, so I expected to know all of this until the beginning of the boot camp, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
For a second, and I was
But you said you wanted to go through intermediate, so...
No, I tell you, this is Jesus.
Oh, this is good.
I'm going through intermediate, yeah? We'll just do this last one, yeah? Try and pay attention for a little bit longer and just try and relate it to what you do know. Right? So you know about arrays. We talked about the map method. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get a list. Our list is this, an array. And we call map on that array. But rather than mapping into, let's say, I don't know, the first letter, we're mapping into a p tag that contains the name of the country. He wants to join us because he knows how to do it. See? Again, I'm going to change it into a function. Should be getting used to this by now at least. Got this bit? I don't think we need to store the list in the state, so I'm just going to have the value. Same thing as before, right? Let's have a val, and let's set the val equal to our useState method. Our initial value is just going to be an empty string, which is the same as what Kelly's done. Okay. Gets rid of all that. Don't need our render. Also don't need that. Okay, our return statement.
Wait, do you mind when you do this? Do you mind if you follow it on the instruction on the left side? Flow.
Yep, so all I've done so far for the flow, right, is set worth, yeah. I haven't really done any of it yet, to be honest. All I've said is that there's a value that changes based on a change event. So I've set it up in the state. That's literally all I've done so far. Yeah? Yeah, a value. Initially set it to an empty string. And then a method to change it at some point. That's all I've done so far. And then if you like, we've written a return statement because we want our function to return something, yeah? That's all we've got so far. We can get rid of all that if you prefer. And we're probably going to return multiple things. Guys, if you don't want to follow along, do your own stuff. Otherwise, I prefer you ask questions to me because it's confusing when you're talking, I'm trying to talk to those who want to listen. Yeah? Cool. So, all I want to do is return something. And that something is, huh?
Something of the text, right? Expected. No.
Something based on the list, yeah? So we've got the list that we need to map over, and we've also got an input. So what two things could I start to write then, based on those two lines up there? An input, yeah, let's put an input. Fantastic. Does it say what it needs? Doesn't.
It says paragraph. I can see that find key from the get countries.
Doesn't even say what the input needs to be at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it as a plain old input tag. Right, I'm just trying to go in order. We also need to render our list. And inside of that, there's going to be 3 p tags.
Okay.
So in other words, all I'm going to do is list.map.
In the input, there's
and that's going to take a country, and it's going to return some p tags, yeah? So this is familiar, right? We're just using map on an array. Each element is a country, right? We can see that from our array here, Jamaica, Japan, and Jordan. And rather than returning just some text, we're returning a p tag. I've used the index because I want each p tag to have a key equal to the index. Inside, I want to just display the country's name. Yeah.
You put extra double line 5 after input.
Line 5, I've got a weird thing there, thank you. So what goes inside there if I just want to display the country's name?
Next left, big props.
The only prop we've got is list. So that therefore shouldn't be list. It should be, well, it can be list, but we need to destructure it, yeah? Oh, not like that. List. Yeah? So now we've got access to list from our props. So inside, we just want to display the country, yeah? The name of the country. The name of the country is country. Yeah? Each element in the array. Okay. So it's taking shape a little bit, right? We're mapping every element in the array, which is our 3 countries, into just a p tag that contains an index and the name of the country. Alright, that's all we've done so far. Because this is all JavaScript, we're going to have to wrap all of that in some curly braces as well. You can do it like that if you wish, just to indent it a little bit. Okay. Next, we need to simulate an onChange event. Where do we simulate it on? On the input, yeah? Get filter input equals our input. So I can type onChange. The syntax, if we're not using Esteban's way, is put an arrow function and call, well, I actually want to call set value in this case. And yeah, this bit you probably won't know, but can you see here when we've got the simulate event, we've got target and value? So that means we can pass an event and we can get the target.value from that element, and that will then store whatever the person has inputted in that box, whatever they've typed in the box, will get set as the value. Yeah? Maybe not clear, but it's what's happening.
Okay, repeat that again, please. You said the event.
Just look at the YouTube channel, go back.
No, wait.
So a lot of events, when they get triggered, create an events object. That is what this E is. I could call it event, but you'll often see it just written as E. That event's object contains many properties. One of those is a target, and that target has the value property attached to it. And in an input box, that target.value is equal to whatever the user has just typed in that box. Yeah, so it's a way of extracting the value in the input box and storing it somewhere else. In our case, we've set it to equal the value variable and stored that in state. Yeah? So that then means that we can use that input value to filter our list of countries. So before I map it, I first want to filter it. It's another one of those array methods we went through right at the start, yeah? Filter. So what inputs does my filter method take? It will take the current value in the array. So I'm again just going to call that country, right, to avoid confusing it with the value variable.
Because it's filtering through, it's trying to find something from the country.
Yep, so essentially filter takes a callback function, right, as its argument. And remember, it includes the country in the array if it returns a truthy value. Now we know what truthy and falsy values are. Right? As long as it doesn't equal our 6 falsy values, it will include it in the final array. Yeah. So what we can actually say is, does the country include the value? So this is the key bit. Country includes value.
And the value of the list we get is what the customer, what the person put in the input form.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what is the value of country the first time round inside of filter? Let's have a look. What's the value of country the first time round? Jamaica, yeah, because it's the first element in our array. We're asking, does Jamaica include, well, our change event has inputted JOR. So does Jamaica include JOR as a complete string, yeah? Not just one of those letters, but as a complete string. No, it doesn't. So therefore, it would not include Jamaica in our array. Does Japan include JOR?
No.
Nope. So therefore, it would not include Japan in our final array. Does Jordan include JOR?
Yes.
Yes. So look, when we input JOR, we expect our countries to have a length of 1 and that text to be equal to Jordan. So if we've written our filter function correctly, we should only get truthy returned when Jordan includes JOR. Yeah, that is the only one that is going to be truthy. So our array at this point that we're trying to map will just contain one element inside. It will contain Jordan inside. So still here, the value of country is still going to be Jordan. And what do? We create a paragraph with Jordan inside. So that should mean that this test passes. There should be a paragraph, the first one at index 0, that has some text equal to Jordan. Yeah? And when it's JA, the filter this time will return both Jamaica and Japan, and they will get passed to the map function, and this time we're rendered 2 paragraphs. Yeah? That's the theory of what I've written. Whether I've made mistakes, I probably have, right? Because there's a lot to think about in one go there. But that's what should be happening. Yeah? Any questions before I run it? Did that flow kind of make sense, even if you couldn't write the code yet?
Okay, let me see.
Yeah? Good.
The input, is it self-closing tag?
Input could be, yeah. There's nothing inside the input, so I could easily make it self-closing. I have no problem with that. And therefore I can put it on one line as well, I guess. Yeah. Then hopefully the rest is working. We're returning that. Let's try, right? Got 10 minutes to fix it. Don't see confetti, we must have done something wrong. Ooh, so the first one's not even working. Country dot includes value, expected indices. So there's no obvious errors. So list dot filter country dot includes val. So we're not returning any p tags. Yeah, I think that's quite obvious why we're not returning any p tags. Why are we not returning any p tags? What have we got on the line above for our function? We need a return statement. Yeah, we need a return in here. Alright, we need to return some p tags from our map function. Okay, let's see if we can return anything now. Hey, that was it. Alright, so everything else we actually wrote correctly. And we missed a semicolon as well. Yeah, that's intermediate React for you. So this is what we're going to test the senior developers on tomorrow and see how well they do. I think they'll be okay. See how they get on an expert though, which is a whole another level. Huh? Say again? Have I done everything in expert? I haven't completed all the questions, no, but I haven't tried all the questions either. So, yeah, there's 4 topics on expert, and I think the only one to have completed them all so far is that guy called Richard, right? Who's sitting at the top of the leaderboards. Yeah, so I think he's the only one on the whole platform that's done all the expert React questions so far. Richard, yeah, who was on the last cohort. Yeah, so you got a target. Last cohort he was on, yeah. Done all the expert questions, yeah.
But he's from a dev background,
Yeah. He's not from a dev background, he's just studying computer science.
Oh wow.
He's a student, very clever student. Any questions, or should I? Well, I'm going to leave it there, but any questions first before I shut the feed down? So it might just be worth obviously skipping to those solutions on YouTube and then extracting them, writing them yourselves and playing around with them quite a bit. Yeah. So you've got the first 3 questions, if you want to make a note of them, were buttons number 1, then composing components number 2, and then it was lists for number 3. So they're the ones that we've gone through. If you want to make a note of those anyway. Yeah, but different topics, right? Which is why I just gave you the topics, so you can easily find those questions again if you need to go through them. Or you can just replay this challenge, of course, at any time. Do you know how to replay a challenge? No. All right. So if you go on the challenges tab, and then you go to past challenges, you should be able to, when it loads, find the one we've just done, React Coding Challenge. Click on Intermediate and do exactly what I've just done. On the top right hand corner, there's a play button. You click that, select a team, it doesn't matter at this stage, the results aren't recorded when you replay a challenge. Start it, and then you get the exact questions that we've just done.
And I can see the answers as well for other students.
You can see other people's solutions. You can't see a model answer, but you can see if you click on this spyglass sort of thing here, the magnifying glass, Yeah, if you click on that one, then that will load up the solutions that other people managed to do to that question. We're not saying that's the best way, but that's how other people have solved it, yeah? Can you find that, Kate? Yeah, you found that? Yeah. So as I say, I don't think anyone did the question 3.
I just